was how unfair it would be on me. After everything that had happened to my mum, and to now be put in a position of losing another woman in my life.
For generations, the members of the British monarchy have followed a strict code of secrecy. The motto? Never complain, never explain. Guided the Queen and her descendants through controversies, both political and personal. And we had all thought that her grandchildren would adhere to an equivalent ethos. But Prince Harry and Meghan Markle had a special vision for their own lives and therefore the lives of their kids too. They envisioned a more open relationship with the general public. One that might eliminate the necessity for constant haranguing from the media.
I'm acutely aware of where my family stand and how scared they are of the tabloids turning on them.
Harry and Meghan dared to hold on to faith for a world in which they could be open about their difficulties and their issues without worrying of judgment. And they hoped this candor would foster greater compassion among the general public. Thus far, the experiment has stirred a wide range of reactions.
When the perception and the reality are two very different things, and you're being judged on the perception, but you're living the reality of it, there's a complete misalignment, and there's no way to explain that.
Meghan's interview with Oprah Winfrey gained her and her husband new fans and cheerleaders everywhere in the world. But it also led to a pronounced resurgence in the anti-Sussex sentiment within the UK. Now, Harry has exposed more of his life than ever previously seen with The Me You Cannot See, an Apple TV Plus docuseries he co-produced with Oprah Winfrey. Like his wife, together with her interview, Harry comes through in pulling off a hard balancing act with the project. He wants everyone to be informed of his estrangement, but he doesn't want to look like he's complaining, living the sort of lifestyle many of us dream of. The reactions have been largely positive, and it looks like the larger part of viewers are ready to take a sympathetic, compassionate view of Harry's life.
So you left, started a new life.
Yep.
To maintain your sanity and well-being for your family.
Yes, he was born into unthinkable wealth with a silver spoon in his mouth. But all of these perks came with a gigantic pressure, and mental disease can take down anyone of any tax bracket. Of course, Harry has endured or had a lifetime of coaching before the media turned against him, which is probably why the worst part of his adult life has been standing by, unable to do anything, because the mother of his children suffers constant insult from British tabloids. Not to mention her own in-laws making matters worse.
Because I'm from the States, you don't grow up with the same understanding of the royal family.
Harry said that Meghan described how she would commit suicide while carrying Archie in 2019, adding, the thing that stopped her from seeing it through was how unfair it might get on me after everything that had happened to my mom, and to be during a position of losing another woman in my life with a baby inside her. Our baby. Prince Harry also accused his family of ruining their image to the press before their intense and raw Oprah interview in March, narrating being woken up in their mansion by his wife crying to silence the noise at the time of its broadcast. He said, "That's heartbreaking. I held her. We talked. She cried, and she or he cried, and she cried."
Meghan decided to share with me the suicidal thoughts and the practicalities of how she was going to end her life.
The Apple TV series was launched on the internet just 4 hours after his brother, Prince William, carried out an unexpected attack on the BBC for ruining Princess Diana's life following the Panorama interview with Martin Bashir in 1995. But despite a judge-led investigation recently, actually confirming their mother was tricked into appearing on the show, her friends say sparked a chain of events, leading the way onto her death in Paris only 2 years later. Harry set off yet another attack on the royalty, who are shocked and upset about his constant jabs, but are unable to reply publicly. Recently, Harry threw another series of jabs on the royals while insisting he wanted reconciliation and healing, reunited with his family.
And now look what's happened. You want to talk about history repeating itself? They're not going to stop until she dies.
Meghan told him she wanted to die and had methodically thought through a plan for the way to do it, but was only stopped from killing herself by fears over him losing another woman in my life. Harry states that the royal family tried to slam Meghan publicly before their Oprah interview, saying she woke him up by her sobbing. Harry says he consumed alcohol and partook in drugs to deal with his mother's passing, admitting he would have a whole week's worth of the stuff on a Friday or Saturday night just to numb the pain. The Duke describes how he's even today tormented by the sound of horse hooves galloping away after being coerced into witnessing his mother's coffin go by him on the Mall. He says at 12, he already knew this life was not meant for him. He again slammed his father's parenting style, saying Charles told him and his brother William that they might go through the same problems he did, but he decided to come out of that cycle. He also berated the Prince of Wales for not having fixed things for his two sons when their mother passed away. Prince Harry tells a source that Archie's first words were "grandma" and "crocodile" and "hydrate," and it made him quite upset because his late mother Diana should have been present to overlook her grandson getting older. But he said he thinks she would be very proud of him and says he feels her presence with him in California, living a life she would have preferred over the one she actually lived.
I don't want to think about her, because if I think about her, then it's going to bring up the fact that I can't bring her back.
Returning to London to be at Prince Philip's funeral last month was a trigger for his anxiety and a test of his strength, showing how he meditates to get rid of bad thoughts, and he was tense and afraid about coming home. Harry says he felt coerced by his family to travel on a visit to Nepal, and constant jet setting became extremely busy and exhausting. He says he did the show with Oprah, saying two most pressing problems on the earth are global climate change and mental health. Harry and Oprah made the Me You Cannot See to specialize in mental illness and mental health, and shows us emotional interviews with Miss Winfrey, actress Glenn Close, and pop superstar Lady Gaga, who opened up about many past traumas. But the 5 one-hour shows are mostly featuring Harry facing the harrowing memories from his childhood, including the death of his mother, Princess of Wales, his use of drugs and alcohol as a way to deal with losing his mother, and his decision to quit as a royal last year and escape to the US together with his wife Meghan.
Panic attacks, severe anxiety, and so 28 to probably 32 was a nightmare time in my life.
In an extremely emotional and difficult interview, he narrates how Meghan first told him she wanted to commit suicide while 6 months pregnant with Archie, and the way she spoke to him of the technicalities of how she was going to end her life. Harry said it reminded him of his mother's final weeks in 1997, saying that it had been when he was 12 and watching his mother's coffin that he immediately knew he didn't want the life she had. History was repeating itself, is what he had to say about it, because Diana was with Dodi Fayed, who was Egyptian when she died in 1997, saying there was a real and possible terror that he would lose Meghan too. He told Oprah that Diana was chased to her death while she was in a relationship with someone who wasn't white. Someone is also out to get Meghan, but Harry doesn't name who exactly. But it's believed he's referring to the press. The Duke went on a bender and continually consumed alcohol and medicines to deal with Diana's passing, saying that being in London was incredibly difficult for him. Harry says he and Meghan were intimidated and cut off by the royal family, who tried to stop them moving to America. Harry also during the interview scrutinized his father's parenting, and the way the Queen had also referred to Charles, claiming he had to leave the family to break the cycle that was going on and keeping everyone miserable.
But certainly now, I will never be bullied into silence.
Harry seems happy, saying he has no regrets about his decision to shift to LA, saying he believes his mother and her memory helped him achieve everything. On top of that, Meghan's insistence he consult a professional and visit a shrink has armed him to be ready to take on anything, including healing and making up together with his British family. Prince Harry has also revealed he was not allowed to be sharing his psychological distress as a child after losing his mother. He was also ignored when he tried asking them for mental help. We're glad to see he's finally getting that help now and is living life on his own terms. Good for you, Harry. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Leave a comment down below letting us know your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.